Hey, Lightwalker here, presenting a hike that I recently did on the Tunxis Trail, the midsection. This is the last of a four-part series. This is from Route 4, Burlington, Connecticut, to Route 44, New Hartford. 8.6 miles, elevation about 750 feet. I forgot to shut off my tracking app, so that's just an estimate. You can see it's pretty much all downhill though, going from a high of 843 feet down to a low of 218 feet. And this is the map according to the Blue Blazed Hiking Trail, the Connecticut Forest and Parks Association. You can see the start along Route 4, where it's just to the west of a Dunkin' Donuts. There are no parking signs along the road there, so you can park there for the day. You can see the temperature at the start was 58 degrees, high humidity 79%. But the humidity tore off. The trail is just to the right. If you go past this pass, just past Dunkin' Donuts, you've gone too far. But if you look to the right, you'll see a wired fence, and just to the right of the wired fence, you could see the Blue Blaze. That's where you enter. Okay, trail starts out beautiful. Forest of ferns, one of my favorite features on any Connecticut hike, and I'm sure many other hikes across this country. Then drops you into this deciduous forest where there are lots of hemlocks, pines, birches, and other hardwoods. You can see we start entering a pine forest. The first 2.5 miles of this hike is absolutely beautiful. I'd recommend a 5-mile hike there and back any day of the week for anybody that doesn't want to do any altitude. You could see this grove of pines planted a long time ago. Maybe not that long ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, and here's a videotape of it just showing you how uniform it is. Looks like it's maybe about a 1/4 acre total, maybe a 1/2 acre, and we get to walk right through the middle of it. Comes out at this road, just basically follow this road for no more than 1/10 of a mile, and when you get to the intersection, you pretty much you'll see the trail entrance right between the Y of the road. Near the Hotchkiss Road sign. At this point we've gone just 0.8 of a mile into the hike. Hitting Covey Road. At this point the trail widens up. It looks like an old logging trail. Was my first impression. But as you can see, that's going to change. You can see that the trails are well marked. It asks you at first to be kind and please stay on the trail. Kudos to the trail marking committee here. And then there's a guardrail, which I've never really seen on any trail in Connecticut. And there's more coming up here shortly, and you'll get an explanation of this shortly. Yeah, there's another guardrail about 100 yards further down, and a big pile of gravel to block this from most vehicles. And a little further down, there's a spillway across, not a spillway, it's like a crossroad across a swamp. And I've got pictures of the swamp to the left and to the right. And I found out later, this is actually a town or state maintained road. It's maintained in the winter for deer hunting. And I guess it's prohibited to travel on it other than the months of November and December. So at this point we've gone 4.4 miles, still averaging a good pace, 3 miles per hour. Almost to Route 202, but not quite. Here I thought it turned back into a trail, but I was misled. This only lasts for maybe 1/4 mile, 1/2 mile tops before it turns into a road again. Pretty serious note there. Failure to remain on Blue Trail constitutes trespassing. See by the name there, they do permit logging up here by permit only. And we are back on the gravel road. And to the left, you could see where they're trying to forest some new trees. I'm guessing where they cut down hemlock, they're trying to bring back a tree that was once native to the area. And you can pause the video there and read about it if you want. I've got 2 more close-ups of this sign coming up. Chestnut research. There we go. And there's our state flower. Close up of the state flower. Mountain laurel. This is a beautiful pink and white bloom. And someone left a trailer here with a road grader. I guess the town did. Whoever maintains this road probably grades it once a year and just leaves the equipment out here. And you guessed it, more gravel road. This should be called a gravel road hike because after the first 2.5 miles, it's almost entirely gravel road. So if you do not like gravel roads or seeing massive areas of logging, this is not the hike for you. And it looks like there's a standalone shagbark hickory they left there. Thankfully, they've left some trees behind. Two of those trees. Bunch of logs there. It looks like some white pine there that they've kept away and probably going to be hauling away pretty soon to make wood or furniture or God knows. Here's an old site. I'm glad that they didn't demolish. Maybe they will next time I hike through, but it looks like an old settlement from maybe as early as the 1700s. Then here we get actually back onto a little trail for probably no more than a quarter mile, maybe a half mile. And you go through this wetland area with, you guessed it, more ferns. And a nice little 2-plank bridge that someone built for us. Looks like maybe as recently as 10 or 20 years ago. Thank you, whoever did that. And then you eventually get to this nice farm land. There's a fence between me and the field, and we're going to continue to the left here along that until we get to a side road. Forgot the name of this. I believe it's this is a road going up to 202, and you basically take a right out of here, and you can see some old settlements right along the road. I'm guessing this is either an old house. It's actually a lot wider than it is deep, so I'm guessing it was a place to tie up horses a long time ago. And there's the road that we hit just before Litchfield Turnpike, or Route 202, as it's also known as. So we proceed down this road for no more than a quarter mile, and you take a right into this, best that I can call it, a quarter mile of utopian bliss. It just seems to be a magical area of the trail, so you don't have to hike all the way to the main road. There's ferns here. I smelt a strong smell of mint after this, and I couldn't understand why until I looked down and I saw mint leaves, and sure enough, they're mint leaves. I broke 1 or 2 off and confirmed it. Don't worry, I know the difference between this and poison ivy. Also saw these cool looking fluorescent fern plants. I'm not sure what these are called, but these were all over the place too. Just beautiful. Reminds me of that movie Avatar. Then we finally get on Route 202, and we have no more than a 1/10 of a mile hike to the left, just beyond where that car is, crossing a river, Neepog River. And at this point, we've gone 5.1 miles into the hike. If you're going to do a 10-mile hike, this would be a good time to turn around. Then we pass through the Neepog State Forest. Yay! Get back to hiking trails, right? Wait for it. Nope. Gravel roads. Parking for at least a half dozen cars, maybe more. That's the good news. Bad news is that this is 95%. Other than that, that entrance trail, the rest of it's all gravel road. Gravel road or pine-covered road. Take your pick. My favorite was pine-covered road for sure. And you can see here's a crossroad and a lot more logging going on here in Burlington. At this point, we might even be in southern New Hartford. Didn't see a video camera around, but I'm guessing that they have a game camera capturing everything that moves between here and maybe 100 yards out. So watch yourself. And you guessed it, more gravel road. And more logging, and more sticks left behind from the loggers. And finally, where the tree falls down is back to the actual trail on the right. Maybe the last half mile of this is actually a trail. Imagine that, being on a trail on a trail. At this point, we're 7.6 miles into the hike. We are dangerously close to the Farmington River, heading to Route 4 there. And to the right, if you look down, you could see the river. It's maybe about 30 feet below us. But we go uphill and the river is down. And you can hear the rapids. Those are class 3 and 4 rapids down there in what's called Satan's Kingdom part of the Farmington River. And then it turns to go down this driveway for about 1/10 of a mile and then ends up at the main road just west of the bridge, which is ironic because when I came in, the sign for the Appalachian Trail was on the other side, or the east part of the bridge. So if you're looking for the trail entrance on the east part of the bridge, you ain't going to find it. And that's proof as to where we came out in the western part of the bridge. We've gone 8 miles at this point. Go down the road a little, about 3/10 of a mile. We'll see the entrance to the parking area, Satan's Kingdom State Recreation Area, where they have Farmington River tubes you can rent. There's also a good sign right there telling you about the birds and fish in the area, things to do and not do. And you are literally 10-20 feet away from the river here. Just beautiful area to camp out or day hike around. Fun for the whole family. You can see John's River Ride, if that's what it's still called, is very well organized. Lots of tents getting set up for the spring season. I was there, I believe, on a Thursday. It didn't open till weekends, till the 2 days later. There are some details if you want to pause a video and read about it or go to the website. And at this point, we have traveled 8.6 miles in about 3.5 hours, averaging 3 miles per hour. And at the conclusion, the temperature warmed up a little to 72, but notice humidity dropped about 30% down to 40. My glasses are right, 6%. So I hope you enjoyed that hike. I enjoyed some of it, but not really most of it. The gravel road was pretty sucky. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and refer it to a friend. If not, you're free to change the channel. Lightwalker signing out.